2016-401, State of Arkansas versus Dwayne Thompson. Mr. Thompson, you're appearing at this time. I don't see counsel with you. Have you made application to the public defenders, or you've hired a private attorney?
I've made the application for Mark Cooper.
Okay.
I turned it in yesterday also.
Has the public defender's office received that application yet?
I hope so.
All right. In these three cases, you're charged in the first one with residential burglary, Class B felony, and theft of property. You're charged in the second one with theft of property, Class D felony, and you're charged in the third case that I read off, residential burglary, Class B felony, and theft of property, Class B felony. On those charges, how do you now plead?
Your Honor, he enters a plea of not guilty. Your Honor, we have been appointed in two other cases on Mr. Thompson. In visiting with him yesterday, I do not anticipate his application is going to be any different than what the court's already approved. So I feel certain that we'll be approved on these three cases, so we enter a plea of not guilty on all three.
Once again, all three of these cases are on the Division 3 docket, and I'll direct that he reappear on the 15th of December and on these three cases in front of Judge Putnam. Any other matters to take up at this time?
Your Honor, when I visited with Mr. Thompson yesterday, he's under the impression that his total bond is set at somewhere over $100,000. I think 105 is what he told me.
That's the conclusion I would reach from reading each of the informations in the bond set. There's 50 on the two that contain residential burglary charges and 5 on the one that's just simply theft of property.
You know, in talking to Mr. Thompson yesterday, he was going to supply an address here locally where he could be bonded out to if his bond was lowered. Your Honor, I would ask that his bond be lowered to $30,000 to $50,000, and somewhere in that range. Mr. Thompson, do you have an address you can give to the court today?
Yes, I do.
What is that address?
It's a 11542 Highway T, Gainesville, Missouri.
And who would you live with at that address?
It'd be Michael Lawrence and Terry Lawrence.
And are either of them convicted felons or
No.
involved in criminal activity?
No, sir.
How are they related to you?
They're my children's grandparents. They're my children's grandparents.
Okay, I'm assuming that they are the parents of a mother of your children.
Yes, yes,
That's how that works. Somebody
Yes.
you've not been married to.
yes.
Well,
Your Honor, our concern is, number one, he's not going to Missouri.
yes.
Secondary to that, Your Honor, he already had other outstanding active cases when these were found out. These are not minor thefts by any means, they are significant. And so the state has issues and concerns about Mr. Thompson's understanding of not breaking the law when he wasn't arrested. Now he's been arrested, there's no more understanding. So, Your Honor, we'd ask you to remain on the bond that we've got set for him at this time, Your Honor.
And my response is certainly the state's entitled to set a reasonable bond. $105,000 is not a reasonable bond in this particular case or cases. Certainly a $50,000 bond, if he can post that amount, would more than secure the state of Arkansas of his reappearance.
Your Honor, it's not just his reappearance that the state is concerned about, it's also his ability to continue to commit the acts he was committing in these thefts. These were, again, were very significant enough that we had to rent the fairgrounds to display the items, to go inventory them. And so we are concerned he's going to continue that activity. And again, if he goes to Missouri, we have no way to monitor him. If he's going to be released on a reduced bond, the state's going to ask that he be required to provide an ankle monitor, Your Honor.
I'd be working in Arkansas.
Where are you employed?
I'm not employed yet, but as soon as I get out of jail, I would be employed with Chris Grothy Construction or Junior in Salem Construction. I worked and was a good father for 25 years, sir. I split up with my ex and went, I don't know what happened, and I used to work every day of my life.
Well, the
I had
court.
custody of my girls.
The court is concerned because of the out-of-state residence and the criminal history as it's been related to the court, that there are other criminal activity prior to this, and for all those reasons, the court's going to set the bond, is going to set a single bond to cover all three cases. That bond will be set at $75,000. Cash or professional. It'll be conditioned upon Mr. Thompson provide a firm address that he, one, two, that he provide that he seek and remain gainfully employed, and that well, I mean, the ankle monitor is sort of one of the things I was thinking of, except that the ankle monitor, I'm not sure how that works out of state. So,
What if I come up with the in-state?
I'm gonna have it be $75,000 cash or professional bond. I want him. As I say, to
He does work out of state.
provide a reliable address and seek and obtain employment and remain gainfully employed, and those will be the conditions of the bond. Of course, it's a condition of the bond that he not engage in any criminal activity, but I don't think I need to say that. So that'll be the bond the court will set. You'll be down here next Thursday in front of Judge Putman. If Judge Putman feels a different bond is appropriate, you're of course free to bring up that at that time. You may be excused.